What is going on, everybody? Yvonne here. Now let's go ahead and talk about flood insurances for a second, because they can be more important than you think. Let's be real. It's one of those things that nobody talks about until you're knee deep in the water inside of your living room. And on top of that, your regular home insurance says, sorry, you're not covered. So the big question is, do you really need flood insurance, or is it just another add-on? So in this guide, we're going to be breaking down if flood insurances are worth it or not, because there's a lot of things that go into it, all the way from what your normal home insurance actually covers, to different FEMA zones, to different types of bundles that exist out there that can bring the whole cost down. So let's go ahead and dive right into it to see what flood insurance is all about. But regular home insurance does not cover floods at all. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this right away is because this surprises a lot of people. And look, when I say flooding, I don't mean your pipe bursting in the kitchen and that causes some water damage. I'm talking about overflowing rivers, hurricanes, or even very heavy rain. Those are going to be classified as flood. Most standard policies are going to deny those claims. So if your basement fills up with water after heavy rain, guess what? You're probably paying it out of pocket unless you have flood insurance. Now let's be real, not every single place is going to have heavy rain. For example, if you guys live in a desert, you're probably not going to have flooding. However, if you live in states or places that gets a lot of rain, a lot of hurricanes, or a lot of flooding, you could be in trouble. Now, if I was in your guys' shoes, the very first thing I would look into would be the FEMA flood zones. Now, essentially, the way that those zones work is there's going to be high risk and low risk areas. So if you guys are in a high risk FEMA area, you guys may be screwed, because that means that you guys have at least a 1% chance of annual flooding. And honestly, that's a pretty high number. Then there's going to be moderate risk and low risk. So I'll go ahead and check exactly which category you guys fall into. Now, here's the kicker. Over 25% of flood insurance claims come outside of the high risk zones. Why, you may be asking yourself? That's mainly because the flood maps a lot of times are just outdated. A lot of things can change, like weather patterns or the way that the city has been designed. However, just because you're low risk doesn't mean that you're no risk. So if you guys live next to a body of water and you've had some weird weather patterns, I would highly consider getting flood insurance, because you never really know what's going to happen. What does flood insurance actually cover? Flood insurance is typically sold through a national flood insurance program or different private brokers. So let's go ahead and go over what it covers. So when it comes to you guys' building, it's going to cover the foundation and the structural walls, the electrical and the plumbing systems, any type of HVAC you got going on, appliances like fridges, stoves, and water heaters, flooring like carpet, tile, or wood, and if you guys got a detached garage of some sort. But it also covers personal things as well, like furniture, clothing, or even electronics. But keep in mind that you guys' coverage is probably going to have some limits. Overall, when it comes to the coverage, it's going to be around $250,000 when it comes to the building expenses and $100,000 when it comes to the contents inside of it. So things like basement contents, landscaping, or temporary housing are usually not covered. And unfortunately, damage from mold is probably not going to be covered either. So it's not a magical safety net. However, if there is a flood going on, this can be a difference between going bankrupt and being able to rebuild. Now, if you guys are sitting there and do want to add flood insurance to you guys' package, here's how I'd personally do it. Because a lot of people don't know this, but some providers allow you guys to pair up you guys' flood insurance coverage with you guys' homeowner's policy. And this is a lot easier by going through private market options. Now, if you guys do want to check, we put together a 60-second home insurance story for you. And it's going to go over if your provider supports flood bundles, what your coverage gap may be, and how much you can be saving or risking. So if you guys do want to check it out, the link for it is going to be down below in the description. So overall, is flood insurance worth it? If you live in a high risk area, then 100% yes. And also, if you live in a safe area, but the weather has been kind of unpredictable, I would buy it just for the peace of mind. Flooding is one of the most expensive, but at the same time, least expected types of damage. And even just one water, and compared to the damage it can do, is pretty much pennies. Because just 1 inch of water can cause over $25,000 worth of damage. So bottom line, don't wait for a disaster to rethink your coverage. And at the end of the day, even though the flood may never happen, this can give you a lot of peace of mind. And because the regular home insurance does not cover floods, this can save you guys thousands of dollars if something bad were to happen. And honestly, at such a low cost point, I would for sure check it out, because it's going to be more accessible than you guys think. And if you guys are unsure where you guys stand, go ahead and check out the survey down below, and that can give you guys more information. That way, you can bundle flood protection and save yourself a lot of future stress. So if you guys found this video helpful, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this, as it tremendously helps support the channel. Till next time.